No,
There you are.
there you go. Yeah,
How
yeah,
are
good to see
you?
you. Great, thanks. How are you?
I'm great. I'm very happy to doing this interview.
Oh,
Thank you
it's
so
cool.
much.
Oh, it's my pleasure. Really? Yeah,
So I think for this interview we should do like a timeline to explain to tell about a little bit about you and when you come back to Conception. So I hope it's okay for you to do like this.
sure, 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 sure.
Uh, so to begin, when you decided to leave Camelot, it was kind of quite an intense moment for you, I think. The band was preparing for a tour in the United States, but you had a burnout. What was the moment for you? Was the moment like for you? And for I think that for a moment you were thinking about staying in the band, but then you decided to leave. What was going through your mind, and what you were feeling during that time that made you decide to like, no, I have to leave, and it's not gonna happen.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's I had th this was back in 2010, and that's I mean we've been working real hard with Camelot. I had lots of obligations in connection with the band, and I had a family. I wasn't really living my life in a very healthy way. And the summer of 2010, I had a long period where I didn't sleep hardly at all, and I really felt that I was going slowly crazy. And in the autumn, we were supposed to go to the US and do a tour, and we were gonna release Poetry for the Poisoned, and everything was going. I mean, from the outside, it seemed like everything was perfect. Everything was going the right direction with Camelot, but for me, it was a crazy. I really felt that I was torn apart. Between the Roy Khan or Khan, the stage persona or the artist and the real me. And well, I mean, there's a lot of things that happened that led me to making the decision that this ain't gonna work. I'm this is gonna kill me if I continue. So I knew already back then that I couldn't continue. So I told the guys that hey, I gotta quit. And then of course they wanted to. It was a big surprise, first of all, to everybody, and a big shock, of course. And they wanted to give me time to recover, but uh, I already knew back then that I would have to quit. So eventually, during Easter in 2011, I sent the message out that I'm leaving the band and wish them the best of luck with whatever future they had in front of them. And luckily, they managed to continue the band and they're still going strong, which I'm very grateful for.
And during these years that you were out of the music industry, you had moments when you wanted to come back, or you thought that you were never coming back again, or it was like a process of healing that you had to take this time before your return. How was this moment when you were not doing music or out of music? How was this for you?
Yeah, I can, I didn't really think about going back to the industry at all, at least not the first few years, because I felt so done with it, and when I quit, I just thinking about going to the airport to go do these US shows that we were supposed to do made me physically sick. So I was really down and out, and but time heals everything, and over the years I'm sure I gave it some thought, and there were times where I regretted, or not regretted, but there were times where I felt bitter about, how I had led my life, and, having everything that I dreamt of, and then I had to quit. But, it was one of the most important and best decisions I've ever made. It was a good decision to join Camelot, but it was a equally good decision to quit when I did.
Yeah, and then you decided to return to music. You released a solo song, and then you announced your return to Conception. Did you consider a solo career or start a new band, or it was like you decided to go straight to Conception? And how was this conversation to the return with the band? First of all, how was this when you decided to like click and you're like, I wanted to go back to doing music again? And when was this conversation to go back to Conception?
Yeah, I think it was in 2016 or something, that Tori came to me with a couple of songs that he and Narve had been recording, jammed out, and he wanted to play them for me. And I guess I'd been thinking about, I should do something, but there were no concrete plans of a solo career or anything like that at that point. But when I heard those songs, I really felt that, I guess that sparked off something in me that made me want to, look into it. So we decided, okay, this is really something, and let's lock ourselves up in a cabin somewhere and try to write some new material, which we did. And the stuff that came out of that was amazing, and the rest is history.
Yeah, and how was this feeling for you to come back to a studio after all of these years? It was different. You were more mature, or the feelings and the process of songwriting for you was different. How it was to go back to the studio?
Uh, it's a little bit like riding a bike. I didn't really, I've been doing this for so long. I started recording like, when I was quite young, and that's pretty much all I've ever done, like work with and for music. So going back into that bubble was easier than most people would think, maybe. Um but it's all about the chemistry and the magic of sitting down and making music, and really uh, getting back to what I kind of feel I was born to do. So it was not a hard decision to get back into it.
And this stage, when you had to go back to stage and doing a show, performance, see the fans, it was the same feeling. It was different. How it was
No,
to.
that was crazy. That was crazy. Like, first time I went on stage, that was yeah. It's almost like I was floating in the ceiling, watching myself from the outside. I was so nervous, first of all, because I hadn't been on stage in almost 10 years. And even though it was a local show, but I mean the house was packed, and we had two sold out shows in a row. Those two first shows we did, and no, I was real nervous and really trippy. But halfway through the set, it really felt like, oh yeah, we still got it. This is cool. This is amazing. And from then on, it was just a real trip, really.
Yeah, I can imagine that. I have a curiosity. Uh,
Mhm.
the songs in Conception always have like two characters. It's me when you talk about the character talk about himself, like I do something,
Mhm.
and there's always a she, like she's doing this. There are a lot of songs with a female character. How is
Mhm.
this process? It's someone it's a fictional character that you create with different stories. How is this when you choose these characters for the songs, for the songwriting? How is this process of doing this, writing the songs?
Well, first of all, the way I write lyrics is kind of, I mean, it's not, there are other people that do that the same way, but when I start my lyrics, it always begins with the music, right? And then I jam over the music. I just, sing just made up words, and some words aren't even words, they're just sounds, but there's always like lines, certain parts of this of the lines that are where I can recognize English words, and there are sounds that remind me of a word, and sometimes there's like a full sentence that somehow makes sense. So in a way, it's like the lyrics write themselves. I pull out maybe a sequence or a longer a word or a longer part of the song for my melody, and then I've really analyzed those lines carefully, and then and it always ends up with something that somehow means something to me, right? And then I can project that, if it's a, let's say it's a she, it could be eventually, in the end, it could be about a girlfriend from the past, or it could be an imaginary she. It could even be about myself, or about, human beings in general. I mean, the she character could really represent, whatever. But uh it's really like the lyrics write themselves. I very seldomly sit down and think, okay, this song is going to be about this theme. I almost never do that. I always let the song itself, the lines that I put down when I do the demo, I let those lines sort of give me guidance and the direction as to what the song is going to be about in the end.
Yeah, that's very interesting. And I think that it's interesting because it's a male gaze. It's your vision of a woman, of this she, and it sometimes can be quite painful or very delicate. It's something that I always wanted to know. That's very interesting.
Mhm. Yeah, I understand that.
You're here in Brazil in January with Edu
Oh,
Falaschi. I was
yeah.
there.
Oh, you were there. Oh, yeah.
Yes, I
That
had
was a
the
great
chance.
night, huh?
Yes, it
Yeah.
was. I had the chance to photograph you guys for
Oh,
the
cool.
website that I work with. It was
Yeah.
it was a great night. I want to know everything. How did he invited you? How was this process of choosing the songs? That's something I
Uh-huh.
always wanted to know. And how was this moment that you had, this days that you were here in Brazil?
Uh-huh. It was amazing. I mean, me and Edu have a mutual friend that lives in Finland, and this friend of ours, he was at our one of our camps. The conception, we have these camps where we have 10 fans coming in, from all over the world, and they spend like 3 days with us, and we we don't really, it's not really about the music, it's just about hanging out and doing fun stuff, for 3 days. So this guy John, who lives in Finland, he talked to me about do uh, at this camp that we had in the last one we had was in Sweden, at this Viking site that we spent 3 days at. And I remember we were sitting out on the veranda outside the house where we lived, and he was talking about. He mentioned that he knew Edu, and that, maybe could it be an idea that I would do something with him in the future, in the near future. I didn't know what it was talking about back then, but then he talked to Edu, and he contacted me. Like Edu contacted me in November or October last year, and asked me if I wanted to participate on this show in Sao Paulo, which I was thrilled over being asked about, because I haven't been to Brazil in years, and yeah, I mean, playing in front of a Brazilian audience is something special. So I really look forward to that. And Edu is a fantastic guy, great guy, and that came out really cool. So yeah, he's a good friend of mine now. That's cool. I'm very
Yeah.
thankful for our mutual friend bringing us together.
Yeah, that's very cool, really. And I want to know how was the feeling of singing a Camelot song after all of this year in front of a
Yeah.
crowd? It was very
Yeah.
special, to be honest.
Yeah.
It's very
Yeah.
emotional.
It was actually it was idea that we did that we did or I was going to participate in a mixture of one aggro song and one conception song and then Camelot song, of course. And that was and I totally kicked on that idea because I thought, yeah, whoa, yeah, a Camelot song, that sounds great. I haven't sung any Camelot, in years. And so he picked the songs and I just, rehearsed here and came out great. It was really cool. Really cool.
Yeah, it
That
was.
was really cool. Yep.
Yeah. And now you guys coming to Brazil finally in June.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Why are you guys preparing for the show? What can we expect? We are very excited to see you guys here.
Uh-huh. Yeah, we are excited. I mean, as you know, Conception has never been to Brazil, and Brazil is actually one of the markets where Conception has a pretty strong holding, and based, of course, it's a big country, but we a lot of the, we have get these statistics from streaming, and Brazil is really up there, with a couple of other countries when it comes to amount of streams. And yeah, but it's we're gonna do a show that is somehow refined to to suit the our idea at least of what people would like to hear, and I just can't wait to get over again and play a full concert with the band and everybody. On behalf of everybody, we're all looking forward to this. It's going to be awesome.
Yes, yes, I'm very excited for this show. That was our interview. Thank you so much for your time. It
Thank
was a
you.
pleasure talking to you.
Oh, all my pleasure. Thank you
And
so much.
see you in June.
Yeah, see you in June.
Bye.
Okay, bye bye.